Hi, everyone. I wanted to get on here today and give you a response to some fantastic questions that I received in one of my posts last week. And I just thought instead of trying to type out a really long answer, I would just jump on video and talk to you about it. I wish I could just be there in person with the person that asked so we could just talk about it. But I think overall the answer will be beneficial to all. So let's just chat. Ashley Warfield posted these comments and questions, and they really hit my heart. I was like, wow, she just really nailed it on probably what most people want to know from when I post these things. So I love it that she did this. Please, others, feel free to ask questions on posts if reading something or seeing something really lights something up in you, then you're like, gosh, I wish I knew more about that. Ask. I will be happy to answer. So Ashley wrote, the struggle of juggling these responsibilities, which is like work and life, is something that so many of us can relate to. It's a constant challenge to find balance and maintain our mental well-being amidst the whirlwind of daily tasks and expectations. Your insights into the emotions and thoughts that stem from this burden are spot on. I am particularly interested in how you help clients navigate the delicate balance between maintaining boundaries and managing non-delegable tasks. Are there any specific strategies or techniques that you recommend for creating a sustainable work-life balance? So, as a one-on-one personal coach, when I work with a client based on their circumstances and their work life and their home life, that will dictate the specific strategies and techniques that I will work with them on. And we have to find things that work for each individual. But with that said, there's still techniques and strategies that really like kind of work across the board. They may just need to be tweaked based on your personality and what will work and be most successful for you. But with that said, I like to keep things pretty simple. So let's just talk about three things. I'm just going to give you three right off the bat. So I would say, sorry, I wrote my notes down over here so I don't forget. One I would say is, which I've talked about before and posted about before, is owning your time. So this is very critical if you want to start feeling some balance and take back some control in your career and how it's impacting your life outside of work. So owning your time, again, to kind of keep it simple, is making sure that you schedule as many things on your calendar as that are in your life. So don't discount something because you're like, oh, I do that all the time. I just remember to do that. Well, you need to put it in your calendar. If rule of thumb is if something is over 15 minutes, you should put it in your calendar so that you block off that time. So one, it's helping you organize your thoughts, your brain. That space does not need to be constantly remembering. You can go to your calendar and see what is on your calendar. The other thing is that it allows you to confidently, when someone asks you, hey, are you available at 1 o'clock today for this meeting, this impromptu meeting for a project, you easily can go to your calendar and say, no, I'm not. I actually have something scheduled at that time. Now, here's the thing. This is where your confidence is going to have to be, well, really, you need to practice it, because once you've put something on your calendar, you need to respect that time. You need to be the authority of that time. So you do not need to let that person know what you're doing at 1 o'clock. That is not their business. So let's say you had 1 o'clock, you had a lunch date with a friend. It is your responsibility as a hardworking adult to figure out, is it better for you to stick with your plan to go meet your friend for lunch, or do you join this impromptu meeting that you were not aware of? So some people will be like, well, I have to go to the meeting. I have to go to the meeting. I was at work. It's an emergency or this or that. You're an adult. You can figure those decisions out for yourself. But I will say this, if you're trying to work on work-life balance, creating that time away from work in the middle of the day to take a mental break and have a touch point with someone in your life that you just really care about, that really is not going to care about who you are at work. They just want to know who you are as a human. does a huge benefit for your brain and your nervous system. So again, you're an adult, you figure out which way, which way you would answer in that scenario. But just remember the goal, at least in this example and with Ashley's question, is how do we find more balance? So with that said, that was owning your time. The next one I would say is let's look at your non-delegable tasks. So this is about becoming aware of what is on your plate. So if things are just swimming around in your head and you've not actually written them down, then sometimes our brains will just, it feels like it's more than it really is. Or we've discounted how much, on the other end, we've discounted how much we actually have on our plate because we're like, oh, but I do that all the time. Oh, I do that all the time. That's just a part of my life. Which people tend to do in work skills as well. They're like, oh, well, that wasn't a big deal. That's just my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Well, it's still taking up your time and it is a responsibility. So it counts. So I would say write a list of everything that you do. Get it out on paper, get it out on the computer, whatever, just so that you can see what it is you actually are responsible for, and include, like, I make breakfast for my children during the day. I am the person who washes and folds the laundry and puts it away. All those things at home, all those little tasks, like just take the time to actually write down, like, what is it that's taking up all of your time? Becoming aware of the reality in your situation. So then you can take a look at all of those things and say, okay, is there anything I can actually let go of? Like, is there anything on this list that I don't feel good about doing it? It's not hurting anybody if I let it go. There's nothing, like, nothing's going to crumble like by letting this thing out of my life. And you could just be temporarily. That could also be with delegating. You could be looking at some of those things. You're like, okay, well, I have to do this task. So like in my example, on my post, I was like, it was about laundry and, like nobody folds the laundry the right way. They don't use the right detergent. Did they hang it in the right direction? And, that's just some of my OCD qualities just kind of coming out in a post. But as you will see, when you write things down, maybe you could delegate that task if you could work on letting go of the perfectionist tendencies that you have by completing that project a certain way or that certain task. So high achieving women tend to have perfectionist qualities and like really focused on doing everything just right. And we have a very specific way we want things done. But that is where our brains just get overloaded and we don't allow people to help and step in. And that we could whole nother post on that. Maybe we will, if somebody has wants more information on like what is that doing to you when you just don't let things go and allow people to help you. So those are the first two: owning your time, looking at your non-delegable tasks and getting real with them. What can you let go? What can you maybe actually delegate? And anything that you can't delegate, make sure that it's included in your schedule. And then the last, number 3 is, balance can shift. Not every moment of every day is going to be balanced. There's going to be times where work is going to take over and it's going to be, you're going to have a big project, or you are in the middle of something that you really know, like, I've got to focus on this right now. But I know that there's an end date because there's a goal to get finished. And so for right now, I'm going to focus on this and I'm going to have to let some of these other things go or delegate them, or maybe not. They don't need to be done so perfectly, right? Your house doesn't have to be as clean as all for this particular time, or you hire someone during that time to clean your house. So there are solutions. This is just about figuring out what is it that is really in your day, in your responsibility, in your scope, and then figuring out how do you delegate, how do you let go, and then how do you schedule the things that are absolutely critical for you to do so that your brain can know where everything is going and who and what is responsible, so that you'll have the time to just be calmer about it, confident about it in the way you answer and respond to people, and take a deep breath and make sure, last little tip, on the schedule, when you're scheduling on your calendar, leave buffers of time. Those are so critical. I actually do not like a really strict calendar. as a career and life coach who definitely talks about time management and sees the absolute value in it, I just talked to you guys about some of that. I don't absolutely love it. It's like a love-hate thing. Like, I love that my calendar is planned. I need a plan. It's just like my brain will work better with a plan. But I also like a lot of freedom. So I put in a lot of time buffers so that if I talk too long on a call with somebody, or we're having a call and the client really wants to dig in and it's like, oh, so I try to leave a little buffer here and there. Same with friends, right? I don't want to be so tight on time that I can't just kind of relax and be in the moment, which is where balance really starts to settle in, is when you can just really be in the moment and not think about what's coming up. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope that answers the question, Ashley. If there's anything else that comes up from listening to this, either send me a direct message or post it in, you can go to the LinkedIn post where I actually did this last week and you can make a comment, or you could just set up a time to call and talk with me. You can go to my website, which is lisapirinelli.com/connect. And you can actually schedule a strategy call with me if it seems like something that you would benefit from learning even more about. And we can talk and see if this is a solution for you. So, all right. Well, have a great day and keep posting.